Yeah, we're kind of cutting out for some reason. I don't know. I'm going to have to clean out this computer one of these days. If I get a chance, I'm going to have to clean out some old shows. I need to get rid of a lot of old programs on here that I've had on for quite some time, and it looks like I've, some of the space on my memory, my virtual, my storage is starting to dwindle, so I'm going to have to get rid of some programs on here pretty quick because, it's getting full. So, going to have to do something about that. Right now, though, let's do weather on the fives right now. And we're talking about some of the interesting weather that we're having, and it's mostly heat that's to be the major concern. We are having a major heat wave in pretty much the good chunk of the Midwest. We are really getting a lot of heat in the Midwest right now. And looking at our national weather map right now, as I go into it here on my thing here. It looks like we have more large ridge of high pressure going to continue to bring you hot air, pretty much. And yeah, my tablet quit on me, pretty much no. Ridge of high pressure system, and it's causing a lot of heat over pretty much the whole Midwest. Today, we're expecting here in Clinton, Iowa, 99 degrees with a heat index of 110. So we're kind of getting it. We're in a heat, and it's going to continue out through pretty much the whole Midwest. And tomorrow, it looks like we could get some severe thunderstorms, according to a report I heard yesterday. That's intense thunderstorms tomorrow evening, and that is for here in Clinton. But right now, I had to my tablet rebooted itself. Normally it kills itself, but it rebooted itself, so I have to go back in there and get what I was going to get. It did an automatic reboot. It does that every once in a while. There's nothing I can do about that. Anyway, like I was saying before, let's see if we can get that back up. Okay, here we go. Large, extending over central eastern U.S. will deliver dangerous summer heat and heat wave through pretty much the whole weekend. Widespread excessive heat warnings and heat advisories already now covering the eastern two-thirds of the country. A number of these record highs and overnight warm minimum temperatures are likely. Heat index is going to go up. We have a surge of 100 degrees. And that, it's 110. So if you have a dog in your, if you, bring him in. If you walk your dog, our little dog here, I take him past the sidewalk and into the grass, because the sidewalk right now, at 119 heat index, going to be, the sidewalk is very hot. And it can actually burn your pet's paws, believe it or not. So remember that. Also, remember to, bring your kids in with you. Don't leave them in the car. Don't leave anything in the car. And not only that, folks, I'm going to talk about this later, but even a bottled water. Got to watch that too. Did you know if you leave bottled water in a car, it could start a fire? Yeah, because of the so be aware of that. Something to think about. All right, meanwhile, though, we're going to be right back. I got more way out there coming your way next. In this next half hour, we'll do Strange But True. And a whole lot of other stuff. Now, Friday edition. We do Way Out GJRB Online. We'll be right back with more in just a moment. This is the GJRB
network in the region. Now that you can add all this care to your circle, why wouldn't you? Mercy One, your best life, our one purpose.
It is now Mercy One Clinton.
And welcome back to Way Out There on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Gary J. Russell with you on a Friday afternoon. Freestyle Friday, talking about the strange, the bizarre, and the unusual. Don't need that on right now. We'll get that next break for the weather forecast. But for now, we're just, doing that. And hope you're enjoying the show. Wherever you're listening across America, we've got an interesting show coming up. And talking a lot about some really good stuff. And hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening to across America. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the show. Way Out There on GJRB Online. And let's get ready for Strange But True as we get rolling here on GJRB Online here on Spreaker across America on the Way Out There show. And we're going to open up Strange But True. We've got some interesting stories to talk about today. And some interesting ones indeed. More stranger than that. Let's see what we got here. What's this? What is it? Visible attack on diplomats and something even more stranger. Let's see if that's our story we're looking for. Yeah, the visible attack on diplomats. This is interesting. Unknown energy source has been blamed for the come on, I don't want that on there. Come on, I'll just say continue. It's just not going to tell me the story. Okay, so why is it that every time I go into an article, I have to get that bowl? Let's see if I can just read above it. Anyway, a high-piercing noise just heard a couple arriving in the United States. Embassy officials in Havana in late 2016, soon after Donald Trump was elected, heard these noises in their homes in the city's leafy western suburbs. They moved to a different room. They walked outside. The noise stopped. The two officials said that they believed that the sound was a man-made form of harassment. Around that same time, they began developing a variety of symptoms, including headaches, fatigue, dizziness, mental fog, and hearing loss and nausea. On December 30th, 2016, Embassy Charge d'Affaires Jeffrey DeLantis, a security chief, Anthony Spotty, told that the men were experiencing what their men were experiencing by then. The third embassy worker who had lived nearby also heard these sounds and began to develop these same symptoms. DeLaurentis eventually sent the three for evaluation by some kind of doctor, otolaryngologist, whatever that is. Anyway, the University of Miami, and told them that they had damage to their inner ears and vascular organs. Similar reported the sickness was being heard. Similar reports of sickness after hearing these began trickling from other diplomats in Havana. One of them was a foreign service official who told me that they awakened one morning in March with a screeching noise. Quoting, when the sound occurred, it could not, quoting this, they were paralyzed. This is a quote. Paralyzed me, unquote. And when the sound occurred, it could not move. It could not move at all. It couldn't even get up. Kind of like, what do they call that? Old hag? Something like that. Anyway, the days followed and they felt extreme fatigue, heard a ringing in their ears and found himself making many mistakes at work and became sensitive to loud sounds and bright light. So what is that strange sound that is making these people react like this? You have to wonder about that. That's pretty bizarre. What could that be actually? We have to wonder about that. Because, like I said, these people hear these kind of noises. I have never really heard these kind of noises. Not really. Not to my experience have I heard these kind of noises, but people have heard noises like that, and I'm not going to doubt them. but bizarre case indeed. Why are they hearing these strange noises, and where's it coming from? So that's weird. So what do you think about that? I think it could be something, because like I said, the government HARP. What do you think HARP could be doing? When you really think about that, because they've been known to pull that kind of stunt, HARP. Really, and you have to wonder, what's the kick there. But your opinion on that this afternoon. Other stories, let's see what we have coming up here on Way Out There. Let's see here. We're going to pull this up. Got some really good stuff coming up this afternoon. Later on today on the show, we're going to have part 5 in our series on technocracy with Patrick Wood. And that's been an interesting series, although confusing, not understandable, but it is an interesting series indeed. So we're going to be keeping up with that one, because that is a interesting story, the interesting piece we've been running on that. And talking about how HARP can be part of that technocracy. The fact that they are making these strange noises these people are hearing. Where is this coming from? You have to wonder. So let's see here. Let's see. Going to let's see. And it's diplomats that are getting attacked with this. Okay, so weird, isn't it? Meanwhile, in other news, shadowy figures being seen in this theater in Norfolk, Virginia, and the video is interesting. This video is recorded showing ghosted UK at St. George's Theatre, which is in Yarmouth, England. So this is not Virginia, but apparently I guess there may be one filmed in Norfolk Theatre. But it's probably the name of the theater, even though it's the same as a town in Virginia. Anyway, getting to it, it's the Great Yarmouth Theatre. And the video shows a number of strange silhouettes moving around the back and forth along the corridor of the building's entrance. Group member Tim Johnson described these figures as unexplained paranormal activity, stating that, quote, "I haven't got a clue what they are, but it definitely isn't the shadow of people, because you would have been somebody walking in front of the window. Is already exciting. We want to go back again and explore even further." During the investigation of the building, the team also reported hearing creepy noises or creepy voices. The anomalous shadows have been seen in the video, which is about 16 seconds into the video. So people listening on here, that listen on Twitter, Google+, I will try to get that video posted on my Twitter site. So people listening on Twitter, you can. I'll try to post that video. Also, on people listening on. People might be listening on. Darn, why did I think today? People who are listening on Twitter will have a chance to see that video as well. Pretty weird. Okay, so let's see what else we have here now. Experts warning now that there could be a major eruption that could kill billions of people at the Yellowstone National Park. This eruption could kill 5 billion people. And I was talking about this just before we went on the air on the last 7 days, talking about this Cordero at the Yellowstone National Park. We were talking about that earlier. And they're saying that this could be a disaster. There could be a natural This could be a disaster to go with natural as Mother Nature of all disasters. Natural to the mother of all disasters. This is the next eruption of Yellowstone's supervolcano. And according to a leading volcano expert from Poland, who wants the United States to start thinking about, and not if now, developing evacuation plans for an eruption, and he predicts could kill well over 5 billion people. In a recent interview with Poland's WP Media, Dr. Jerzy Zaba, weird name, Jerzy Zaba, professor of geological sciences and the head of the Department of General Geology at the University of I'm trying to pronounce that. The university. Said that Yellowstone's volcano would be far more destructive and deadly to life on Earth than any other the experts are willing to consider. He starts by comparing it to a recent supervolcano event, the Taba supervolcano about 75,000 years ago in Sumatra, Indonesia, which was one of the largest known eruptions. About 90% of the Earth's abate small population at the time may have died. And if you're odds, Zaba points out that there have been 42 similar supervolcano eruptions, on the average once in less than about 1 million years. So, as far as Yellowstone is concerned, we're good for at least a few 100,000 years, right? So he's kind of skeptical about this. He thinks that maybe perhaps this volcano it will be years and years and years and years before it goes off. But I kind of question it because of all the earthquakes that have been going on now in California, especially since July 4th. I think there's been what did they say was 3,000 earthquakes just on. It's still shaking down in Ridgecrest, and you have to wonder now: is this shaking going to continue? Because they said that they're in for some more major earthquakes in that part of the country right now. So you got to wonder if this is going to continue. What's going to happen now if this earthquake, it could get worse. So you have to wonder about this now. The Ridgecrest earthquake on July 4th was, now remember, and we were talking about this on the last 7 days before airtime. And the fact of the matter is that, look, July 4th, it was 6.4. Then that following Friday morning, it went to 3, I think it was 3 something on the Richter scale. And then that Friday night, 8 o'clock, about 8:20 p.m. Pacific time, another quake registering 7.1 on the Richter scale hit. And, they're going to keep on getting, they said that the earthquakes could continue. Now, there was just an earthquake, believe it or not, in Tennessee. I believe it was yesterday. It was, what was it, a 4... I don't think it was a very strong one. It was like a 4 point something. There's a 4.6, or it might have been 4.4. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was in Tennessee. They just had one there. There's been earthquakes in San Francisco. There was one up in Canada. So you see, there's been widespread earthquakes, and you have to wonder now. I'm staying aware here in Clinton. Even in Iowa, because Clinton was known to have an earthquake. As a matter of fact, I think there was one in Clinton back not too long ago. Several years back when I was still in the Quad Cities. But the thing about it is, like I said before, best to stay alert because the earthquakes are getting more numerous. Now look where it was now, Athens. And Athens was very strong. So here we go, Athens in Greece. They just had an earthquake in Greece. And it was a strong one. So it's all over the world, folks. God's trying to wake up some people. And whether or not they're going to wake up, different story. But you have to wonder about that now. And keep talking about that as we continue. Let's go on now to our next story here. I'm going to go up to... let me see here. Oh, yeah, of course, the talking about more earthquakes. The tectonic plates. Tectonic plates may have peeled apart, according to this article, and could shrink the Atlantic Ocean. Now, here's an interesting story talking about more earthquakes. The tectonic plates could shrink the Atlantic Ocean. And for years, Jim Durante is puzzled over this. Talking about this, boring underwater expense off the coast of Portugal. In 1969, site spewed a massive earthquake which rattled the shore and sparked the tsunami, but we'll never know about that looking at the broad, fearless surface of the seabed. Kind of goes on to talk about how, and I don't know, I can't get the gist of this story, but what they're saying, and I'm trying to find the main part of it. There's a video, it looks like, over here, Earth 101. I don't know if that's anything important. Now, 50 years after the event, I have to answer the bottom of the tectonic plates off Portugal's coast seems to be peeling away from its top, and this action may be providing a necessary spark for one of the plates to start grinding beneath. Another just best known subduction zone, according to the computer's simulation, Durante presented in April at the European Geoscience Union meeting. If confirmed, this new work would be the first time an oceanic plate has been caught on an act of peeling. It says appealing, and it may mark one of the earliest stages of the Atlantic Ocean shrinking, sending Europe inching towards Canada, as predicted by some models of tectonic activity. So it's like what's happening is Europe is moving closer to us, which that's what I get from that. Wow. Europe moving closer to us and sending, according to some of the models of the tectonic activity. So they're saying that Europe, due to this, Europe could move closer to us because it would shrink the Atlantic Ocean. Wow. Quoting the certainty of this interesting story, University of Oslo, Fabio Cormeri, who was not part of this research team, but had attended the EGU lecture, Durante presented some of the strong arguments, which he says, but he precautions the model needs to further testing. Not an easy feat, but he said the data is a natural process that works at a speed which fingernails grow. Anyway, fascinating story. But they're saying the tectonic plates are shrinking the Atlantic Ocean to a point where Europe would be pretty darn close. What do you think about that one? Some strange stories on Strange But True. Coming up next hour, I'll have some more Strange But True and Slap Ham with Calvin. He's got some interesting stories coming up next hour here on Way Out There on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for listening to the program. Glad that you could be aboard. Got a lot more interesting stuff coming up. And if you want to be on the program, I'm going to open up my Skype. I haven't done that yet. Had an interesting night the other night. I did something real stupid. I got to tell you about it. I mean, really, not the brightest thing, not the brightest bulb in the lampshade to pull this stunt off, but I did it. I accidentally got into my sound system and disabled my speakers. Could not hear a blasted thing coming out of any of them, okay? And I'm going, why the heck did I do that? It's just, and I lost my audio, and I had to sit there and try to figure out how to do that. I got a hold of my friend Brian, who knows a lot about computers, and all I had to do is I watched the video, which was silent, like a silent movie, but I figured it out. I had to go into my control panel and go into the sound system and pull up the microphone. I'd pull up the audio and the speakers and bring them back up, and I got it back. But it's like, what possessed me to pull that? I'll never know. But anyhow, it takes brains, and where are they? Anyway, you'll see the Gary Russin here. I'm Gary J. Russin. You'll see the Way Out There on GJRB Online, and we're well past that weather on the fives, but we're going to do it anyway. Take a look at some national temperatures. Right now, 96 degrees Fahrenheit here in Clinton, according to the Kelvin station. Let's take a look at what's going on over on the other station here in Clinton, over by us at the Mayer Farms, and see what their temperature is looking at. Mayer Farms right now currently at Clinton, 94 degrees. It feels like 113. So, wow. That's pretty, 94 degrees, feels like 113. And we'll do our weather for Clinton, Iowa a little later on. And we'll have some of your Clinton weather forecast. But right now, let's take a look at weather in other cities. Los Angeles, California, 78 degrees and sunny. 94 degrees and sunny in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Des Moines, 97, about 3 degrees more. Here in Clinton, we're at 94 degrees under sunny skies. Salem, Massachusetts is at 85 degrees. 92 in Paducah, Kentucky under fair skies. Omaha, Nebraska checking in with 97 and wind. And North Platte, Nebraska, 97 degrees under sunny skies. And we'll take a look at your national weather. We'll visit our friends at Weather Nation next hour. And we'll have the next hour also. We'll be playing you the next part in our series. Part 5 on technocracy with Patrick Wood. It's a continuing series, absolutely interesting. Kind of hard to understand, but telling you how technology and how they're using it against the masses. And we were talking about 1984, just a while back. And it's true, when you really think about it. What's all this with 1984, and the fact that Big Brother is watching. Look at all the technology we have. Look at all the ways people can listen to us. Now, I don't care if they listen to me, because this is a radio show. But you have to wonder, what is going on here, So we're going to talk about that. Technocracy. And it's the next part of our series, Patrick Wood. And we're going to continue that series. I think there's I'm figuring it out now. There might be a couple more parts to this. And then once that technocracy is over, I'm going to wrap up that segment, and then we're going to end this season of Way Out There. So I'm going to say a couple more episodes into August, and I think we'll take a little hiatus from Way Out There until maybe October, because we kind of like to start this show up in time for Halloween. So probably have Way Out There coming up close to Halloween, and we'll be back on the air. We got some more new features and trying to get some interviews with some people that I'm trying to get guest spots for. So we're going to do that. I'm going to take a break. Be right back after station identification. This is the GJRB Online Network, and this is Way Out There.